Whatever you call them, bakes, casseroles, or for us Midwesterners, hot dishes. Recipes that combine multiple ingredients and bake them all together are a great way to use up ingredients that you have on hand, and it can be healthy, budget-friendly, and very yummy. And we have Megan with us today from the North Harvest Bean Growers Association, back for today's Thrifty Thursday. Thank you so much for coming in again.
Thank you so much for having me.
It smells absolutely delicious in here.
Yeah.
And who would have thought healthy, but hot dish?
I know, a healthy hot dish. What?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to kind of break the idea today, that a hot dish is not necessarily something healthy. So there's a lot of different names for basically doing this combination of ingredients and putting it all together in a dish and baking it off in the oven. And today we're going to do one that uses pasta as well as beans, vegetables, cheese, and sauce, and really makes this nice combination of healthy, low-cost ingredients. So before we get into our recipe today, I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about what ingredients typically go into these types of dishes. So I mentioned at the start that pasta, that's kind of the typical base of these dishes. And so that's usually what we call our starch ingredient. So I have a couple of pastas here, but in addition to that, you can also do rice if you prefer that, or a potato, or if you're a person that's watching your carbohydrates, you can omit that part of the ingredient of the recipe and have it be a little bit lower cost and less carbs, excuse me. The next thing is picking your protein. So a lot of folks will choose like ground beef or chicken. Today we're going to do beans because beans are a source of protein and as well as fiber, and they are one of the most low-cost protein sources that you can buy. 30 cents a serving, 99 cents for a can. You can get a lot of good nutrition and protein out of beans.
And you can keep them in your cupboard.
Exactly.
True. A lot of times I'm like, oh, we don't have any hamburger.
Yeah.
What are we going to make?
What can we make?
Or
where
it's
those
in
can
the freezer
always.
and I don't have
right?
time.
Right.
That's true.
There's nothing easier than opening up a can of beans. Also adding of vegetables. So today we're going to do one of those packages of steamed broccoli. But this is an opportunity where you can really just use up what you have on hand. So if you have frozen vegetables, if you have canned vegetables, if you look in your refrigerator and say, oh man, that pepper and that tomato, they've got to go today, throw that in as well. And then you do a sauce. Today we're just doing a basic marinara, and then of course cheese. And from a thrifty perspective, one thing that I like to tell people is that today we're using mozzarella cheese, but this type of recipe is a great way to get all of those little bits of random cheeses that you have floating around in your refrigerator and throw them all together.
So this is one of those recipes where, like, before you're going on vacation and you're cleaning your fridge out, the clean the fridge out meal?
This is totally the clean the fridge out meal. So in this bowl, I have a half a box of the penne pasta already prepared, just cooked to package instructions. We're going to add 1 can of drained and rinsed cannellini beans, 1 can of drained and rinsed dark red kidney beans. I said those opposite. We're going to give this...
Rinse? To get the salt off?
Get the salt off, exactly. Okay. And then that liquid, it just really wouldn't add a lot of flavor that we're looking for in this dish. But draining and rinsing, cutting 40% of that sodium, which we want to be watching out for. Again, 1 package of steamed broccoli. So I already have that steamed up and that gets mixed in. And thinking about these typical bake type dishes, a lot of times it's like 75% pasta, a little bit of meat, and then a lot of cream and cheese. If you look at this, this is probably 50% beans and vegetables, so a really healthy, nutritious base of ingredients. We're going to do a whole jar of pre-made marinara sauce and get that all in the...
Look at all those colors. You're supposed to have all the colors.
Exactly, yep. This is a colorful dish. I like to add a little bit of water to the jar just to make sure that I get everything out of there in the spirit of being thrifty.
That is very thrifty.
We don't want to let anything go to waste.
I was like, are you already washing your dishes?
Yeah, we're going to wash the dishes on this segment of Thrifty Thursday too. And then I have mozzarella cheese. We're going to do about half of it in here right now and then save the rest to top it so that you get that nice crispy topping at the...
But talking about doing dishes, you've only used 1 dish.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome how a recipe like this can be so simple and easy, but also so nutritious and cost effective. Yeah, 1 dish, that's not bad.
No.
And what's nice about a lot of these casserole dishes too is that they come with the little plastic lids that you can clip on the top. So after you make it and bake it and you serve it for a meal, just put the lid on top, pop it back in the refrigerator, and that can be your storage for the leftovers too.
So how long do we have to bake this for?
You are baking this at 375 for about 40 minutes. I already have a sprayed casserole dish here, casserole, hot dish, bake, whatever you call it. And so we're just going to dump all of our
It
ingredients
can be
in
a
there.
casserole dish, but we're making hot dish.
Yeah, we're in Fargo. We're making
Yes,
hot dish. So we're just going to smooth out all these ingredients.
All those colors really do still
Yeah.
look beautiful.
Yeah. It
Okay,
really-
and tell us, how much did this whole meal cost?
The whole thing was $7. Everything. That
wow.
is the entire.
That's for my whole family, plus maybe some leftovers.
Yeah, which is.
Or the office.
For the
The
office.
office. Yeah,
Thank you,
I'm-
all of your colleagues.
And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of Italian seasoning on the top. The recipe doesn't call for that, but I like flavor and just making sure that you get a little bit more of a boost. So yeah, so that is ready to go. Pop it in the oven. This is something you could make in the morning, and then when you get home from work, throw it in the
Easy.
oven, ready to go.
Easy and affordable.
Very
I love
much
it.
so.
And it smells delicious. Megan, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up on North Dakota Today, he's one of only 93 men in history to fly the top secret SR-71 in the U.S. Air Force, which is the fastest aircraft ever created. And he's here to share his inspirational story next.